MovieWeb.com.
Hey, I'm Jamie Philbrook from MovieWeb.com, and we're here in the town of Dirt from the new movie Rango, and we're going to talk to some of the cast and crew from the new film. Ow!
You're funny looking.
Well, you're kind of funny looking too there, kid.
You're a stranger. Strangers don't last long here.
Well, I might be a stranger, but while I was in the town of Dirt, I had the opportunity to talk to Johnny Depp, Gore Verbinski, and others about the brand new film. Here's what they had to say. Well, tell me about reuniting with Gore again after the pirate movies on this, and I understand that he had a sort of a different way than most animation is done as far as how you actually recorded the voices, correct?
Yeah. Well, for me, you know, it was a sort of a no-brainer just in terms of, you know, he asked me to do virtually anything, I'm there, you know. I mean, he came to me with the idea of basically all he had at that point was, he says, I got a lizard, you know, a chameleon, who was on a sort of existential, sojourn within the confines of a sort of spaghetti western. And I was like, okay, I'm in.
I thought it was just such a brilliant idea to do a western with an animated western. I just feel like the genre hadn't been thought of for a while. But ironically, True Grit also came out recently, which I loved. And I feel like there are some similarities between my character in this and was it Haley, the actress in True Grit? I love the images that Gore showed me, and I'm a huge fan of Johnny Depp, so it was a no-brainer.
Well, it started really small. I mean, we did 16 months with myself and 7 artists in a little house, with pencil and paper and doing drawings and writing and developing the screenplay. So its origins were incredibly humble. But then we recorded for 20 days with the actors, and then we went for a year and a half up at ILM. So, it sort of mushroomed. But it did. The first year and a half were really quaint and really enjoyable.
You play a cactus mouse in the film. Did you spend any time with mice, studying mice to kind of get into that?
It's an eye.
Okay.
So it's a mouse, and yes, I did stalk one. I stalked a few, by day, wore a trench coat, hat. Kidnapped a few. Just kidding. Okay. No, I hadn't really ever heard of eyes before. I just sort of went based on the script and Priscilla herself.
Okay.
And her astonishing good looks.
You ain't from round here, are you?
I'm still working on it. So, what's your name?
Beans.
That's a funny kind of name.
What can I say? My daddy plumb loved baked beans.
Well, you're lucky you didn't plumb love asparagus.
What are you saying?
I mean, I enjoy a hearty puttanesca myself, but I'm not sure that a child would appreciate the moniker.
My daddy was a great man, even if he did exhibit a proclivity for legumes. And
Spicy.
You are eating his ashes.
Oh! You carry his remains?
No, his ashes. He loved to smoke. They never found the body.
Oh, well, I'm sure he had his reasons.
I understand Gore actually had it done, the voicing, in a different way than a lot of animation is usually done. You actually got to work with the other actors,
Yes,
correct?
which is so much fun because, you're not lonely in a way in a booth. Instead, you're playing props, dressing up, yelling at each other, pretending to jump through hoops. It's all the fun of really acting.
What was interesting, because I've done animated films before, and normally the process is you're just standing in front of a microphone, reading the bits off the paper, and trying to imagine the character in those situations. And this situation here, what Gore did was he had us on a big sound stage, and he brought us all the actors in together, and we acted the scenes out. We blocked them, we acted them, we filmed them, and what that does in terms of the sort of emotion capture and what that gives to the technical fellas, at ILM and stuff, and putting this together, is it gives them that extra, layer of reality. We've got our proper sort of body language and the truth, or the organic sort of truth of what we were doing in the scenes, to use as reference material. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was great. It's a lot less isolating than just being in a booth talking to a screen, and you also get the more, when you're doing an animation, usually in a booth, you get like one take of the other actor, so you have to sort of adapt to that. So this was great to be able to sort of try different things every take.
Yeah, and like you said, more like a play.
Exactly, exactly. I think that Gore equated it to a bad high school play.
We jokingly called it emotion capture because people constantly ask, you know, we're using motion capture in this film, and it's not. I mean, that would be, you know, disrespectful to the you know, year and a half that these animators painfully, you know, keyframed every moment of this animation. But we did try to capture emotion and throw actors into situations which were maybe uncomfortable. You know, throw them at each other so that they would react. I mean, these are techniques we use in live action. It just seemed foolish to give them up. So we had this stage with a carpeted floor, and we would tape out like, this is the room, and you're walking in here, and these, you know, guys are here, and they're gonna knock over this table and pull their guns, and, you know, plastic guns and cowboy hats, and it was just it was silly, you know, but it was just all about trying to get people to move and be out of breath, and, you know, the boom man was king. I mean, it was all about trying to capture a really lively soundtrack. So, you know, the boom's in shot because the image is useless. I mean, occasionally we use it as a reference, but it was just really trying to create some chaos and trying to get something honest.
Oh, hey, proboscis. Oh, testy. Oh, no. No.
I was a huge Hunter S. Thompson fan. I know he was a great friend of yours, and
Sure.
he makes a cameo in this film.
He sure did.
Tell me about that. Was that something that you had a role in, getting him his image in the movie?
It was a kind of thing where Gore and I were sort of, I think we were just sitting around riffing about stuff, and, you know, what about this, what about that, what about that, and then suddenly the idea of, you know, bats, you know, bat country and stuff, and how interesting it would be to see, just for a split second, you know, like, whoa, did I just see that? Have Hunter as Raoul Duke arrive, you know, and also for me, you know, just for me to be able to say that two of my characters actually met on screen, I thought that was pretty interesting.
What do you think he would think about Rango, about the character in the film? Because it seems like a very sort of Hunter-esque movie.
I think Hunter would have. You know, I knew him pretty well. I think he'd actually love this because it's so, you know, irreverent and mad, and at the same time, it's got a real foundation of a message, but it's also just, you know, there's somewhat psychedelic.